Alright everybody, and welcome to today's video. So in our previous video we established the secret store. So today we're going to go through setting the API permissions using that secret store. So up here at the top of the script we're going to set a few variables where we're extracting those secrets as plain text. And you can see that here those secrets are in the vault. Alright, so now we have those secret variables established. We're going to set a variable for the graph app ID, which is a static app ID. It doesn't change. And then we need to go through here and you can create an array of all the different types of permissions that you want. I just went through and made my best guess effort at all the things that I might want to touch with this programming language. And then I'm pumping those into a variable. Alright, so now we need to connect, and this is something to keep an important eye on. I'm going to connect, and I'm going to connect as my user, which is a global administrator, and I can grant these particular permissions to myself through the Graph API in order to actually go through and give my managed identities the appropriate access that they need. But in order to actually set the access on their identities, I need to consent before I do that. So I'm going to walk through that real quick. And here's where you want to be careful, right? Because the types of permissions that you're granting are really important. And on this one, I am granting write permissions. Manage app permission grants and app role assignments. So this is a pretty permissive one. This should fire off the bells and whistles. And if you consent on behalf of your organization, that means everybody can do it. So you want to be careful. Don't do that. Alright, so now I'm connected to Graph, and I'm going to go through and I'm going to set my managed identity. And I can go ahead and output that variable to show that my managed identity is in here. Oh, and you know what? I actually got these variables mixed up. Oops. This is actually my managed identity, and that is actually my enterprise application principal. But these are the two service principal IDs that we're going to be using to perform our services. So now that we have those variables set, we are going to set the graph variable, and I'm going to loop through every one of those permissions, and I'm sure some of them will fail, but it should grant us most of the permissions that we need. Okay. So I've got all the permissions set. Connected. We have the MSI automation identity and application identity in here. Let's grab the graph. Sweet. Alright. So all the variables look good. Let's see what our loop does. Using parameters instead of specific variables. Okay, so we get a bunch of assignments, get some failures. I'm good with that. Alright. Apparently I'm going to update my script to use parameters instead because that worked a little bit cleaner. Which parameters failed? already exists. Okay. So now, should be able to go down to the bottom. And do a git. All right. Have role ID created, principal. See all that same stuff. And we should be able to go into our enterprise applications and see that graphically as well. There we go. Now we have all of the permissions that we needed. I need to go troubleshoot those ones that didn't actually apply, but yeah, I'll get those corrected on the back end. And that was an interesting little troubleshooting session. So the end result was it doesn't like those parameters being passed explicitly. It wants them being passed in a body parameter field, which is fine. Yeah, the Graph API has a little bit of bugs like that. So yeah, on to the next one. I will catch you in the next video.